Going on YouTube, Centex Collector here with my review and upgrades of the 2021 Trek Marlin. I had bought this bike to upgrade from my 2017 Trek Marlin 5. Just thought it was time for upgrade. And then now I'm actually looking at a Trek full suspension, but let's go over this bike. So I've had this since about October, and I've just put in 200 miles as of today. I'm riding about 3 to 4 times a week, but let's go through the bike. So the first thing that I upgraded was the grips. The original Bontrager grips. Looks like they were the XR Trail Comps. Those weren't great, so I just got in. Then I bought some different version of Bontrager. But then today I got the race face in, and they felt pretty good, the race face grips. That's the first thing you definitely have to get rid of is the grips. And then I have, this light's pretty good. I forget what model it is. Looks like it's the Al Plus. So I upgraded that. And then I upgraded the handlebars. They just came with some, was it 780? No, 720. Yeah, they were just the Bontrager alloy 720, so I got some 680s. Yeah, I know I could have cut them down, but I got this FSA XE 281 680s. 720 just felt way too wide, especially with some of the trails we have down here. And I had to drive an hour south of where I live, outside the Austin area, to get this, because everything in the Austin area is just about sold out. So I swapped out the handlebars. So that's personal preference. I just like the smaller handlebars. I kept the brakes and the shifter. So the shifter is the Shimano Dior M1000. Brakes are Shimano MT200. And then they're hydraulic discs. But as far as, well, we'll get to that. And then RockShox Judy. It's been a great shock for me compared to what was on the Marlin 5. Debating on if I keep this bike, then I'll swap out this stem for a race face. But right now it's just got the Bontrager, so it's got the semi-integrated 1/18th, and then the stem, blender, 7 degree, 80 millimeter. So been looking at a race face, like a 70 millimeter, 6 degrees. And then the tires, I swapped out the tires that came on here. I believe they were XR3 Bontrager. But anyway, I swapped them out with these Continental. So these are the Continental King 29 by 2.3. And then these are tubeless ready. The rims aren't tubeless ready, but at least I want to get the tires in case I were to upgrade the rims. The rims are just Bontrager connection. Same thing as older Marlins. And then the rotors, I was debating on swapping out the rotors to a 180 up front and 160, the higher end Shimano rotors. Right now they're 160 front and back. That's if I keep the bike. I'm looking at, like I said, I'm looking at the full suspension tomorrow. Add the bottle cage and the bike pump, which has been coming in handy. Pedals, that's another thing. It came with some plastic junk. So these are some Fookers I got off Amazon for pretty cheap, like $30, but they're basically race face Chester knockoffs, and they served great. And then the crank set is FSA, and then the bottom bracket is FSA, and then the crank is FSA Alpha Drive, 175 millimeter. Came with 28 tooth steel. I upgraded to 30 because I couldn't find a 32, because this you just can't swap out. Most of them are like 104 BCD. This is only like, I think, 82 BCD. So that was one issue. So I'm debating on swapping out the crank set for a race face ride crank set, and then the BSA, Team BSA 24 millimeter bottom bracket, which would fit the ride 137 spindle, because this is only like a 122.5 spindle. I had this lizard skin because my chain's beating up my frame. That was pretty cheap off Amazon. And the tires, I think I only paid like 80 bucks for this set shipped. And then this is a 1x10 speed. It's like it says 30 up front. 28 was way too small. I really wanted 32, but I couldn't find a 32 chain ring on Amazon or eBay. Let's see, what else did we upgrade here? And then the seat post, just a Bond Trigger alloy, which I'm debating on getting a dropper post if I keep it. And I got the Fox saddlebag with my extra tube in there, because I've had plenty of blowouts here myself or friends. And then the seat I swapped out for a WTB Speed. That's another, the seat sucks. It comes on here, the Bond Trigger Arvada. I actually flipped that on eBay. But yeah, the seat is a must to swap out. So the seat, the grips, and the pedals have to go. That's like gonna be your first upgrade on this Marlin 7. Again, this one comes in the navy blue. And then the cassette is a Shimano Dior M4100. Again, 10 speed. Chain, KMC X10, 10 speed. Rear derailleur, Shimano Dior M5120. Let's see, anything else we miss here? Yes, that's about it. I mean, I've really enjoyed, like I said, I've rode, just broke 200 miles today. Definitely the big improvement was upgrading these tires, because the tires that come on it, I think it's the XRC 3s, or 2 or 3s, come on it, they just weren't grippy enough, so I was sliding out the back a lot. So that'd probably be another one I would highly suggest, the tires. But pedals, like I said, they're cheap prep to come on here. The pedals, probably gonna want to upgrade that 28 tooth to a 30 or 32, depending on where you live, maybe even 34. And then the grip sucks, so swap those out. The seat sucks, swap that out. But other than that, I mean, those were all cheap upgrades. The seat, I think, was 70 bucks. The grips cost me like 20. The handlebars, that's up to you for your preference. If the 720 is too wide, I think I paid like maybe 30, 40 bucks for these handlebars. So handlebars are pretty cheap. Or even I'm debating on swapping these out for a race face and just cut them down. Just get some race face carbon. And then, so the only upgrades I'm thinking, if I keep this bike, would probably be the rotors, getting a little higher end rotors, maybe change out pads, get the race face handlebars and race face stem, the dropper post, and then I'd probably get like the wolf tooth seat post clamp and the wolf tooth lever. Dropper post, I'm not sure yet. And then I really would like to get the tubeless ready rims and get this tubeless ready, but that's gonna be pretty costly. And that's about it I can think of. But overall, it's a great bike. I think after tax, it was like 920. I think retail was like 800 something. So it's probably one of the top of the line hardtails before you start getting into full suspension. So this was a great upgrade from Marlin 5. If you're just starting getting into mountain biking, definitely a Marlin 5 is a good start. I have a 2017, which I enjoyed for a few years. But you can definitely feel the upgrade, because the Marlin 5 was a 3x7, and this is a 1x10. You can just feel the difference. The shock is better. The overall ride has just been great with this bike. So this is a great bike for its price point, or even if you go and get the Marlin 5, it's another good bike for its price point. But if you're looking for the solid shocks and the single up front, then definitely go with the 7. I can't remember if the 5 went that direction or not. Because after the Marlin 7, then you start getting into the full suspension. But if you're just getting into mountain biking or even intermediate and looking for something better than the 5, then this Marlin 7 has been great. And again, this is the 2021. But I found a really good deal on Facebook Marketplace for a full suspension I probably can't pass up, so we'll see. I'll check it out tomorrow. And if I buy it, then you guys will get another video once I ride it a few months or a few hundred miles. Like I said, this one I put in 200 miles, so I can give a really good review of this bike. It's been really good. I've put it through various different trails around the Austin area, from Brushy Creek to Walnut Creek. Did a little bit of road riding, Suburban Ninja. So I've definitely done plenty of different types of trails and obstacles, and this thing has held up great. Better so with these better tires, with the grippier tires. But overall, like I said, the Marlin 7 is a great bike. Marlin 5 is a great bike too if you're beginning to intermediate, but if you want to step up from beginner to something a little better, this Marlin 7 is definitely great, especially for its price point. Alright guys, give me your feedback, like, comment, subscribe. If you have the 5, the 7, what upgrades have you done? What do you suggest? JJ out.